All right, beautiful humans. Namaste for this beautiful day here in Mama Bali. Blessed, blessed, blessed. Super sunny skies, good waves. The kittens are having lots of fun playing around. Tiger, hi. So yes, today I felt called to go into a little Q&A about the third eye chakra. Yeah, the third eye chakra in the center of our heads that is connected to both hemispheres of the brain. So this is where we easily can give power over to duality. I had a question about this center, and it's a good one. I was actually thinking about answering this one, and then I got it too. So the question is, how are the open centers in human design coming into potential conditioning, or how are they contributing to duality consciousness? So to go into this, we learn in meditation and we learn in human design where we have to observe our mind. What comes into our mind? How do we label things? How do we put labels onto what we are experiencing while we are looking through these two eyes, or how we are feeling, sensing, knowing, hearing, smelling things? We can label it either with duality or non-duality. Yeah, there's something still in between which would be neutral. But neutral means basically that there's no polarity in between those two, of either polarity, duality, or non-duality, no polarity. So if we go into all of the energy centers one by one, the first energy center would of course be the root chakra. I haven't gone into this chakra yet, but if you follow the root chakra, the information of the root chakra, all of the energy centers will come up into your mind. And in your mind, you can choose whether you put your energy on the authority giving it to the mind, which you should not be doing, because there is no such thing as authority in the mind. There's only authority inside of the body. And in my opinion, there's only authority inside of the human heart. The heart knows only the oneness of life, the flower of life. So if we start with the root chakra, in the root chakra we can have an open root chakra in your human design, and it will make you be able to be someone who can do things extremely, extremely fast. You have the gift to being able to do something extremely fast. If I would be making a salad together with someone who has the open root chakra, I have my root chakra closed, the other person has the root chakra open. And what happens when open and closed come together? They create amplification. So the person who has the root chakra open might start rushing, hurrying, or stressing more to finish that salad than I would. Yeah, and in that rushing, in that stressing, you will be burning more fuel. So you observe your mind as the open root chakra, and at the moment that you realize, come to the awareness of, hey, I start to pressure myself, hurry myself. Is it really necessary for me to do this? You can then choose with your mind to put your body, the radio, onto not stressing, not giving into negativity, not giving into putting your energy on, putting yourself into a pressure cooker to finish something faster. Yeah, this is the first one. And if you do not observe your mind, if you are not aware of the fact that you are maybe rushing, pressuring yourself, hurrying yourself, then that could cause you to become conditioned or get into duality, that you maybe burn too much fuel, you get very tired, and that tiredness can then make you feel frustrated or bitterness or negative. Darkness is duality. Oneness, unity, singularity, positivity, truth, and light is singularity. There's only oneness in there. Yeah, oneness means there's only positivity. There is no such thing as negative. In the fifth dimension, there is no negativity. The only dimension where there is still negativity is in the 4th dimension and into the 3rd dimension. So if you then go into the 2nd chakra, would be the sacral. The sacral, I also haven't been into the sacral yet, but in the sacral you can have the not self theme of not feeling, of not knowing when enough is enough. Yeah, if you have an open sacral, you are a projector, you are a manifestor, or you're a reflector, and you're not here to work, you're here to lead, to guide, to direct, and to manage your energy by learning and growing into knowing when is enough. So you don't go into not knowing when enough is enough, because not knowing when enough is enough would lead you into the not self theme of, again, feeling frustrated, angry, bitterness, negative. Negativity is duality. Positivity, love, light, truth is satisfaction. All those positive frequencies, that is 5D, that is 5-dimensional. Yeah, so if you want to be in the 5th dimension, there can only be positivity. There cannot be any negativity left in the 5D. If there's negativity, then you're not in 5D. You might be in 4, you might be in 3.5, but you will not be in the 5th dimension. So in the spleen, you have the not self theme of holding on to something that is not healthy for you. Now, if you have an open spleen, you become aware of that, and again, with your mental capacity, you can decide whether you want to keep holding on to something that is not healthy for you, or whether you want to say, okay, here until here and not any further, I am choosing to put my energy on non-duality, on oneness, on only positivity, only light, only truth. Yeah, because if you stay in negativity, you're staying in the 3D, you're staying on the earth, old earth dimension of negative energy. And when you're in negative energy, then you're also in the frustration, the bitterness, the anger, or the disappointment, depending on what kind of energy type you are in that human design. If you have an open emotional center, you have to ask yourself sometimes the question, observing your mind, with the fact, am I making any decisions based on other people's emotions? Am I making any decisions based on other people's emotions? Because you have an open sensitivity that you feel other people's emotions very well, and due to that you can feel other people's emotions very well, you can also identify yourself with those emotions from the other person. This is why we have to move ourselves from empathy, feeling it on the inhale, to then seeing it on the exhale, compassion. And compassion does not take anything personal. Compassion does not take any emotions from someone else personal. So if you are still personalizing other people's emotions, it means that you have an attachment into that in some way. So again, you become aware with that, with your third eye, and with awareness, you can bring awareness to that center in your body so that you don't stay in the possibility of creating or making choices based on the emotions from someone else. Again, this is something that you do by observing your mind, by observing your Anja area, where you don't carry authority no matter what your human design is. There's no authority in the mind whatsoever. It is only the radio receiver who receives options, processes options, and then based on the options that you can choose, you choose with your heart, with your soul, with your inner authority, which frequency, positivity, light, love, truth is in the highest alignment for you. With an open G center, I had a person also with this question. An open G center, meaning your identity center is open, which gives you the vulnerability that your environment is everything. Now, if this person, for instance, moves from their amazing environment being in Bali to solve some things in their country, let's say the Netherlands, and I go there, and when I get there, all of a sudden I feel so out of my environment, so out of my perfect, amazing environment, that of course that vulnerability that you carry in the center of your chest will get into your mind. But in the mind you choose whether you give power to the fear, whether you give power to the negativity, whether you give power to the illusion. Because your mind can create that story about your reality. Yeah, and this is something you have to keep observing with your mind. Observe with your mind whether you are negatively labeling that temporary situation. Because if I would only temporarily go from my amazing environment in Bali to the Netherlands, I know I need to solve something there. I know I need to spend some time there. Although it doesn't feel amazing, can I, every time that I get a negative label in my mind, can I change the negative label for a positive alternative? Yeah, can I change the negative label of making it pointless, useless, that I am there? That is a negative judgment. It's a negative thought form that can come into your third eye. And once you recognize it, you can also change it for a positive alternative. You can change the label from negative to positive. Pointlessness, uselessness, making it pointless or useless to be in that environment, you can change it for saying, okay, after this, life will be graceful. It will be ease. It will be at ease. You can make it perfect with its imperfections instead of making it hard or difficult or pointless or challenging, for instance. A challenge is another negative anxiety that we can carry in our minds, that when we feel the situation is challenging, what you do, you give power over to that position in the reality. You give power over to judging it or having a negative thought form of making it challenging. But as soon as you recognize the negative voice in your mind, you can change the negative voice of feeling that it is challenging, and you can change it and make it graceful. Although it is temporarily that you have to move to that other environment, you can change the challenge and create a positive version of it to make it graceful, to love yourself, to do this because when you would have done it, it gives you then the freedom to be completely sovereign. So you have to do it in order to get to freedom, to sovereignty, to abundance. Yeah. So another anxiety in our minds can be rejection. That as soon as you have a vulnerability in one of the open centers, that vulnerability can come into you, and you can in that time reject the you can at that moment reject the you can in that moment reject that part of yourself. It can, for instance, be that in your splenic you get the intuitive, instinctual knowing without knowing that just knows that you should go right. But your mind says, no, left is much faster, more efficiently, let's go left. And if you would choose that, you will be learning and growing and knowing that you have to trust your intuition before you make any choices in life. Because your intuition will always be the number one, and your mind is only the radio receiver who processes those. So don't reject your intuition. If you have a vulnerability about environment, your environment needs to be amazing and feel like it's amazing, then of course for certain moments that we have to do things that we have to do in order to become more sovereign, we might have to go through a period of time where we have to be in an environment that does not feel amazing. As soon as you would then make it bad, wrong, or negative, you are giving power over to a dark thought, a negative judgment, and then your whole reality changes to that label that you give it to. So although it might not be in your highest alignment to be in that situation and to be into that environment, try to give it a positive alternative, as it is only something for the time being. You're only leveling up, and through that leveling up you will eventually get to that amazing environment again. Don't ignore that part of yourself. Don't reject your vulnerability for your environment, but hold it in acceptance. Hold that moment of being in that environment that does not feel amazing, and hold it in acceptance. love yourself, and don't ignore that part of yourself, but love that part that feels out of alignment, that feels not okay with being in a physical environment that does not feel amazing. But don't make it bad, don't make it wrong, don't make it negative. Because if you make it negative, you are adding a label of duality on to the reality, and the universe will give you new circumstances in exactly the same pattern until you graduate to the next level of the game. And don't make it wrong, bad or negative, because there cannot be any negativity left into the new earth. So you're gonna keep looping your consciousness, looping it, until you don't make it bad, wrong or negative anymore. Because we are being pushed to our divine destiny, which is oneness, which is a unity, which is only positivity can be left there. So when there's only positivity left, there is no room for negative judgment, negative thought forms. And I mentioned already before briefly a negative thought form, a dark thought. Darkness is more powerful than light is also one of those judgments that we can give with our mind to, oh, those people are wrong, those are bad people. That is already contributing to duality consciousness, and it allows you to not graduate to the next level of the game. You only graduate to the next level of the game if you can hold that person, those people, in acceptance. That they have to do whatever they have to do in order for them to learn and grow, to coming to the next level of the game, just like you are graduating in the game, by holding those people into acceptance, into positivity, that you see them, that they have soul, that they have their own divine plan, and that their divine plan is allowing them to learn and grow into knowing how to, and better not, and knowing how not to do certain things, which is the lesson of the soul in this experience of being human. Another negative judgment that we can have is chaos. You know, like if you are all of a sudden in an environment that does not feel amazing anymore, it can feel like chaos. It can feel like out of alignment. So I'm just gonna label it as my life is a chaos now. But that chaos is only temporarily, because you only have to go out of your alignment temporarily to then find your alignment again. And the more graceful, the more easeful, the more positive you're going to label that transition from being out of alignment back into alignment, the more easeful, graceful, and faster the process of ascension is going to move for you, because you're not giving in to the negativity anymore. You're not labeling it as a chaos. No, you're labeling it as I am the I within the storm. I can be this eye of singularity within the storm. I can be the eye of unity, consciousness, oneness, positivity within the storm. There can be negativity surrounding me all the time. And as long as it has an effect on you, you're being triggered. And when you're being triggered, it means that there is something negatively coming up inside of you that actually wants to positively acknowledged, honored, and thereby set free, so that you can become completely free. And you become completely free in non-duality. You stay stuck in the duality matrix, in negativity, when you keep labeling your life as as a chaos, as a struggle, as anything that can be labeled negatively. I also have people at times, you know, they're like they go to plastic surgery because they need better lips, or they need better skin, and they need better breasts, and all those kind of things. Like, this is all synthetic. It's polarized, because that what you put into your skin to make your cheeks go like this is not organic. It is not natural. But you start to look older when you label yourself in polarity. If you label that your skin is bad, your skin is gonna get worse. As soon as you are going to accept accept your skin, as soon as you are going to unconditionally love your skin, as soon as you start unconditionally love all parts of yourself, if you start loving unconditionally the negative voice that you sometimes hear in your mind, that is going to give you the best anti-aging cream that you can basically desire. As soon as you wake up in the mirror in the morning, and you look into the mirror and you see yourself, and you're starting to label yourself, my skin is bad, I have acne, I have all those kind of things. Your skin will only get worse when you trap yourself into the duality consciousness, because this no longer can exist on Earth. So as soon as you are going to accept the acne, as soon as you're going to accept that you might want to change your diet because of the fact that there's proteins coming out of your skin, and you maybe need to change something in your diet. Maybe the universe wants you to change something in, which people are you hanging out with? Are they making everything bad, wrong, negative? Or are they making everything in acceptance, positivity, love, light, and truth? Then you might want to stick around those people who put a positive vibration around them, inside of them, and in you, so that you get inspired by them and they get inspired by you, and you level each other up instead of leveling each other down. Yeah, because we our bodies are so smart that if you, and your body is a Tesla, and I'm not talking about Tesla cars, because Tesla cars is duality as well, because they drive on a synthetic battery. There's no singularity in that Tesla car. I'm talking about the real Tesla, the inventor, the scientist who was murdered over discovering how you could let energy move from one point to the other without losing synthetic cables, without using synthetic batteries, without using fuel. You could fly from one point to another point physically. You could let information move physically through wireless, effortless communication. This is how the whole universe communicates in 5 dimensions. The only place where we are using synthetic cables, electricity that comes through cables, cars that drive on fuel and batteries, is because we are in 3D, we are in negative duality, and the only way out would be to transcend that by not giving any power over to negativity anymore. So other centers that got into the openness also, I said, the higher heart chakra. The higher heart chakra goes into self-worth, self-esteem. People with an open heart, higher heart chakra, like myself, we have to learn and grow everything that has to do with self-worth and self-esteem. Loving yourself, accepting yourself. We have a vulnerability of easily or more easily feeling low self-worth, low self-esteem. But again, this is something that you can then manage, because the moment that you feel hit by something, oh, that hurts. As soon as you keep moving yourself from feeling it, empathy, on to exhaling it into compassion, seeing that life is not happening to you, but life is actually happening for you to learn and grow. It is not something that's happening to the ego, because the ego is just something temporarily. Temporarily, while we are in this body, we have an ego. But if we leave this body, we don't have an ego anymore, and we are infinite, love, light, truth, on an infinite journey through time and space, ever evolving into higher levels of consciousness, love, light, and truth. So when you are feeling it, you become aware of it, and again, with the radio receiver, you choose acceptance, you choose non-duality, you choose it to make it positive, graceful, acceptance, loving, and you love it. You don't hate it. Because if you hate it, that hate is gonna come back, and you're gonna have to give another crack at it, because you keep looping your consciousness until you graduate to the next level of the game. So if you catch yourself sometimes in judging negatively, in having negative thought forms, try to really change them in every now moment to now moment, so that your life starts to become positive, light, love, truth, joy, innocence. Yes? So, and then we also have the open throat. I didn't go into the open throat yet, because the open throat is sometimes getting us into trying to get attention, or could get into avoiding attention. Like I was always a very shy boy. I have an open throat, and I had difficulty sometimes also expressing my truth. But now, since I have been aware of it, every time something would come up, I immediately am the creator of my reality, and I change it. I don't need to prove my communication. I don't need to fill in any gaps. I can just wait to be invited into conversations, and then share my wisdom, my knowledge, or to those people who follow my channels. That's how you use the voice. And again, you do it in combination by becoming aware of it, labeling it in non-duality, in acceptance, in oneness, unity, positivity. And every time you would still recognize the negative label, oh, maybe I'm avoiding to get attention. Or maybe I feel like I need to prove something with my voice. Then you can change it. You can say like, no, I don't need to avoid communication. I don't need to avoid expressing myself. I don't need to prove myself either. So that you can come into a conversation from the right alignment of acceptance, of self-worth, and self-esteem. In the Anja, we have the openness that we can get ourselves into trying to prove your certainty. And this especially happens when I would be having an open Anja, and I would be in relationship, whatever relationship, with a person who has the Anja closed. Yeah, they have a green one and I have a white one. And when the green one and the white one meet each other, they create amplification. Amplification meaning that everything is being amplified. If I am open-minded and the closed Anja is slightly more narrow vision, more close-minded, their certainty is like this and my certainty is like this. My certainties tend to change over time much faster than the person who has the third eye closed. When you are in that relationship and you try to convince the other person about your certainty, you're not going to win that duality conversation. So again, don't give energy to polarity or duality or negativity consciousness, but only put your energy on positivity consciousness. Positivity, acceptance, love, grace, etc. There can only be chaos, negative, or there can be I am within the storm. Yeah, then you can be at peace. You can be in a very busy spa. Like recently, I went to this clifftop spa, and I sit in the steam room and I hear all these people speaking very loudly Russian. And my guides were like, can you keep it in acceptance so that your vibration does not go down, that you don't feel any negativity, because as soon as you feel negativity towards that behavior, you become that behavior, and your vibration is lowered because you're having a negative judgment or a negative thought form about what is coming to you into the reality. So there's only darkness or there's light. There's only truth or there's illusion. There's only positivity or there's negativity. And if it's about ignorance, you love yourself. Love yourself so that you don't ignore yourself. When it's rejection, you accept yourself instead of falling into the rejection of that part of yourself. When you feel challenge, you change the challenge for it's going to be graceful. It's gonna be easeful. I'm not gonna make it bad, wrong, or negative, because the more bad or wrong I make it, the more bad and wrong it's gonna get. When you would make it pointless or useless, you are perfect with your imperfections. Yeah, these are a few examples of negative, dark, polarity or duality consciousness labels that your third eye can give to something, and you have light, love, truth, positivity labels that you can label to whatever comes into your mind. And then we have one left, which would be the crown. The openness of the crown, again, you become aware of it with your third eye. The radio processor becomes aware of the fact that you are maybe picking up on other people's thoughts, and that you could finish somebody else's sentence. But this is usually something that people don't like, if we finish somebody else's sentence. So if you are catching yourself trying to finish somebody's sentence, feel in your heart, feel in your sacral, feel in your authority whether it is actually necessary for you to finish somebody else's sentence. The answer usually will be from a knowing without knowing that just knows, no. So then don't do it. I think we have it mostly about the Q&A of the third eye. I hope this helps. No authority in your third eye chakra, even though it might be defined, colored, because half of the people have a green Anja and half of the people have a white, clear third eye chakra. Yeah. Any questions, drop me a question in my private message or in the comments below this live. Sending you all big love, big hug, and I'm gonna enjoy the surf because there's amazing waves in the hood here at the moment. So wishing you all a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, and see you soon.